it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and today we are talking about the Rosey Life Planner. I did get the A5 size, and this is the TRP paper. So last year she released her planners, and they're all beautiful pink covers, and I was super excited about it. But she used one of the papers in the one I wanted, and I wanted the TRP paper. So I will end up flipping through this in this video. First, let's go ahead and hop to the unboxing. I took it apart really quickly one day and filmed it for you guys. I'm gonna film the rest of this video around this unboxing, but look! I just wanted to unbox it really quick because I am going to carpool lane very soon. So I think it's cute. You got a couple of cute little freebies, and I loved this. I'm gonna save the sticker. I'm trying my best to rip this tissue paper and not the actual sticker. And I will peel off all the goodness around that. How cute. One of the reasons this really caught my eye is because we're talking pink planner. It has a daily page. It's TRP. She did something last year where the dated planner was a different paper, like a thicker paper, and then the TRP planner was the undated planner. And I was like, oh man, I wanted it to be the opposite. I wanted the TRP planner. Come on, buddy. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's like just the slightest little texture on the cover, and it doesn't matter. I think it will relax over time, but mine has a little bit of wrinkling on the cover, which I'm not thrilled about. It did ship all the way from Finland to the United States, so I'm not in love with the wrinkliness there. It's just a little wrinkly. I think it will relax over time, especially if I like mess with it. It's a little bit dinged up in this corner, but this package, you know, it's been through some things. It's seen some things. It was perfectly wrapped. I would have loved to have had maybe some bubble wrap so that wouldn't happen, but otherwise, like, super pretty, nice floppy, beautiful pink, like a beautiful shade of pink. I'm super excited about this. There are the little markings for the months there, so you can see the little markings for your thumbs. And one thing I love about this is it has dated daily pages. So excited. So I'm going to be taking this with me to carpool. I saw one paper that was folded. There's one little, oh, it got miscut. I'll have to trim that off. See, that paper just folded instead of got cut, so it looks a little bit wonky. Otherwise, there's no other ones that I see like that. I'm gonna play around with it. We'll do a full-on walkthrough in this video. And so far, I like the cover. And now there are other TRP covers that show they're called signatures, but these ones are all uniform, so it doesn't make it look really lumpy from the front view, which I appreciate. You do definitely see those lines. And now we're gonna walk through page by page. Last year, she had a different kind of paper, like a really thick paper in the dated 2024s, and the TRP paper was in the undated version. I was so disappointed because I wanted this one, the A5 dated planner, and so this year I did get it. There's a couple of things I like about this one, and one thing I like about this one over the Sterling Ink planners is the daily pages in this one are dated. Now there are pros and cons. People are going to prefer one way or the other, but I happen to really like the dated page even when I don't use a dated page every single day, especially like on the weekends. I don't tend to use a dated page, but I will go back and fill those pages in other times. I just like the option to have it be dated, and I can ignore it if I want to, but that way I don't have to sticker it up and add a ton of bulk to my planner. So this one does have a dated daily page, and the other one that I got this year that has a daily dated page is the Hobonichi, which I've talked about the things I like and also dislike about the Hobonichi, but one of the main things is it's a like full print color on the pages with the grid. Everything's colorful, and including the monthlies. There's some color on the monthlies as well. Well, this is all just really neutral grayscale, nice and clean and crisp. And so this one kind of combines the things I like about both Hobonichi and Sterling Ink and puts them into one pink planner. You guys know I griped so much about the Sterling Ink planners only having one pink version, and their pink cover is super ultra smooth. Do not like the material at all. The color's pretty, but the material stinks. Well, this one has a slight texture to it. I'm hoping the camera will pick up a little bit of it. It's like the tiniest bit pebbly, and it feels textured. Now these are super thin. Mine did get dinged up in transport. You can see, I'm hoping that will relax over time and it's not like a permanent thing, but I would totally take wrinkles over flaws in the material any day. This one is all wrinkled up at the front, but there's no like scuffs, flaws, scratches on it. I would have loved to see it have the gold edging like the sterling inks. I got all my sterling inks except for one with the gold edging. This one didn't have that option at all, but it's still beautiful and it's just pink and beautiful. I just love everything she makes. So I did end up getting some sticker freebies in here as well, and they're just beautiful, guys. Just all her stuff is really, really cute and beautiful. Just nice and pink and like ultra feminine and rosy and beautiful. And so her planner is the Rosey Life, and I just love that. We're gonna walk through page by page. Now she does have the thumb tabs on here. You can see them, but they're not colored in. So you get this like line gradient around each month because you get the top and the bottom of that little squared off piece, which is fine. I don't tend to need those thumb spots, and I also don't tab my planners, but that gives you a guide if you want to add tabs. So let's walk from the very beginning. It is a TRP planner. You can see mine's a little bit dinged up, which like obviously I'm not thrilled about it, but it's not gonna prevent me from using the planner. I mean, it shipped from Finland to America, so I'm kind of not entirely surprised by that. So here is the page for the cover. It's just blank, so you can add some stickers, you can add some pictures, whatever you want. This is the one that's glued to the book. When they bind these books, that first page gets glued together. So it's just kind of a page if you want it. Otherwise, you can just kind of ignore it, and then it opens to your yearly. And this is the page that'll start laying flat. Like these ones all lay flat, and there's my little flawed spot. But I mean, it lays pretty flat. I flipped through it a tiny bit by myself, but it lays pretty flat. There's your year at a glance for 2025. This doesn't have any grid on it, but you can use the grid behind it if you really want to. You get your index type of pages here, and I like that their page doesn't go all the way to the edge. It's got a really nice little margin around it. And then here's where you move into some of the more like goal setting type stuff, which I do like in this planner. It is set up in a quarterly fashion, but this is like your year at a glance page. So there's 6 boxes on each side, room for a title or a header, but you can put like your important dates, your yearly goals, all sorts of things in here, just month to month. I really like that it's open to interpretation. And if you look very closely, that top bar in each box doesn't have grid behind it. Of course, you can use the grid because there's a lot of ghosting in TRP paper. You see the grid on the opposite pages. So if you push, you can definitely see that grid there, but that's for your monthly headers or whatever headers you want for these categories. And then you move into your quarterly trackers, and there's 3 months to a page. So your whole year is on these 2-page spreads. Very, very cute. And I like her font's nice and clean and crisp. You got your numbers and also your days of the week down those columns. And let's see how many squares you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 10 squares across. There's also a box at the top, a box at the bottom. And then you move into these type of trackers, which is interesting. So this one is like a year-long tracker. You get 2 of them that are going down, like all the numbers 1 through 31, and then all the months are across. So January all the way to December. You get 1 dot. So this is like your year in pixels, but you get 2 vertical styles. And then you also get a horizontal style one at the bottom here, which is cute. And this one's just kind of the opposite. January through December going down, and then 1 through 31 going across. So I don't know what I will use these as, but I really want to use this sort of like maybe a goal setting supplement, because the goal setting pages in the front are really, really nice. And we will talk a little bit more in a different video. I brought my other A5 options up here to talk about them. So we will talk about that in a following video. I'm going to film it right back to back with this one. But I like the front pages of this one a lot, and I love the dated pages, and you can see everything's really clean and crisp. The font style and also the writing is very, very light, but it is totally still visible. Like I can see these grids no problem, whereas like early iterations of Aura Estelle planners, early iterations of Sterling ink, the grid was super duper light, very, very hard to see. This is nice, like the perfect shade where it's not too dark, it's subtle, but you can still see it, which is very helpful. So none of these pages in the front are numbered, by the way. And then here you move into these little quarterly pages, and now these ones you get a half a page column for each month and a section in the front. So this could be quarterly plans. This is how you break it down for the 3 months. You could do your monthly habits, monthly goals, all sorts of things. You do get these quarterlies, but they're in between the monthly pages. So instead of getting like your December calendar and then your future calendars, they throw in these quarterly pages, which I think is a really, really awesome option. I never really tend to use those extra month pages they give. First of all, I don't use a lot of monthly spreads to begin with. I'm going to try my best to start using them a little bit more. I started using a few extra ones the last couple months, but I'll stick with it for 2 weeks, then forget about it, and then never fill in the rest of the month. But you have your monthlies right next to that quarterly page, which I think is super helpful. And then here is a look at the monthly spread. You've got a column down this side. You've got your Monday start calendar, so your weekends are together, and then there's a little gap at the bottom here, and you do have 6 weeks here. So like for instance, this month, the month starts up here, and then it ends this 5th week on the 31st. So you have this whole line of empty boxes. They're not numbered boxes. And one thing I do like about this one is you get the full dates on that first week. So this is the 30th, this is the 31st. So you can start using it that if you go by like a weekly schedule, not necessarily like a monthly, you want those all together. So you can use that as a full week. And then down here, you don't get that. So the first and second are not written in to fill out that last week. But then you can skip these weeks and then go into your next month, starting up at the top if you want your weeks completely together. And some people work in like 13-week chunks or 9-week chunks, so they do want to have those days filled in. So like, for instance, this week starts on the 1st. They give you all the dates up to the 31st. These are all dated squares, which is really helpful. And then you already have it built in to have 6 weeks when there is that extra couple of days hanging on that 6th week. I really like the way she did this. It's really versatile. So you get all the quarter bundled up together, and then you get your next quarterly overview and then your next following quarter. And that works all the way through the year. That's quarter 2, then you get quarter 3, all the way through, and then quarter 4, and then you don't get extra months, which is something I don't mind. Let's be real, a lot of people got their Hobonichis and their Sterling Inks and they're already setting them up for 2025. I totally don't think they're going to be using those January, February, March extra months for the following year. This one ends on that December and you move right into your weekly pages. So I don't believe for a second they're taking advantage of those extra pages. I love how she took those pages away and just turned them into the quarterly pages. I think that's such a nice, usable feature. So it's just the 12 monthlies. And then you move into your weekly, and this is your typical 1.3-inch column like a Hobonichi Cousin or Sterling Ink vertical. And it's very clean, crisp. You got your little calendar, your sidebar, you're getting your month header up at the top. And in this little calendar, your week is circled. So whatever week you're on is circled, and then it is a Monday start. So you got your Monday and then your number. It's really nice, clean, crisp look. And then as far as the hourly schedule, it goes from 5 a.m. all the way down to 4 a.m. So you get your 24-hour clock. And it is a military time, so you have 2300 right there and then back to 0 for midnight. So that's going to take some people getting used to. I don't tend to use the hourlies all that much on most of these planners, so I couldn't care less if it's military time or 12-hour time. You get all your weeklies all together, just a big chunk of weeklies. I did have one miscut, like that page folded over and then got cut, so I do need to trim that piece at some point. I just have it still folded over. Then moving all the way to the end here, we're into December. And then there's the last week of December. It gives you to January 4th, just how the week falls. And then you move into your daily pages. And so this is set up in a cute way. All the dates are on the pages. It gives you the day of the week and then also the month and day. So I love that. It's always up in this top corner for all the pages. And then at the beginning of each month, you get an unlined page. And again, like the grid is so easy to see behind it. So I would use the grid behind it if I was writing. I'm one of those people that needs grid or dot grid or lines to write nice and evenly, like keep my size consistent. So I would use that. But this is a great like monthly dashboard page. You can add pictures, you can add your currently inked, you can add just your goals for the month. It could be like a wrap up of your favorites for the month. I love when people are like currently reading, listening to, obsessing about, all those things that you can keep track of. This is such a great page for that. So each month gives you that page ahead of time, and then all the pages are dated. Moving into January, I'm going to show you where February sets up. It's not always on that same exact side. I went ahead and flipped through, and all these pages are numbered at the bottom too. So if you don't want to use the header, you don't have to. It's so little and subtle, you can just ignore it and use the numbers down at the bottom. So here is the February beginning page, and these pages don't have anything on them, they're just blank, but it's not always on this side. So that was what I was going to show you guys. It isn't always on the same side. These are all February. And then there's your March page. So I love how that's done. I want to see if you get a page at the end of December, so you could use them maybe as like at the end of the month. So you get lines here. So you could totally use it how I'm thinking. So let's go to the very end. So yeah, you get one at the very end too. This page is not lined either. So I was thinking it could be your pre-planning, like you use it before January 1st, or it can be your end of the month. So there's one behind the month, and you could use it as your end of January wrap-up type of thing. So it could be like a monthly wrap-up, or it could be a monthly preview type of thing, however you want to do it, because you do have one at the end of December too. So there's one before or after, depending on how you want to set it up. And then you get a few pages at the end, and these pages are not numbered, which I thought was kind of strange. The end of the numbers ends on 365. So they are your dated daily pages with numbers at the bottom, but then these extra pages at the end are not numbered. So you'd have to number these ones yourself if you're keeping track of an index or anything, but you get quite a few little pages in the back. And I'm thinking you get tons of daily pages in case you want to like have a collection of something back here and use these as true dated pages. You have the option to have a few more lined pages. I keep saying lined, but I mean gridded pages at the end there. And then there's your back panel and your back of the planner. And it's just gold foiling on here. And I love this. It's a fountain pen nib. See that with the rose? Super cute. It says Rosey planner on there, and then all the info on the back as well. Just gold foiling. All in all, I'm just super impressed with this. I love the dated daily pages. Now, Sterling Ink did come out with a dated daily planner, but it doesn't have your weeklies in it. So like kind of defeats the purpose of having a daily, monthly, weekly planner all together. I want it all together. So this is just such a great option if you want those pages in the back to be dated. And that's really the biggest difference. This one has the dated daily pages in the back with all the monthlies, with all the weeklies, and this one also has quarterly pages in the front. I like the way the goal setting's done in this front section. You still get the trackers, you get the year in pixels page. Where is it? It's before this page. The year in pixels page, this blank page. There's just so much built into the front that I think people will really enjoy. So I wanted to review this one, but unfortunately the 2024 dated version was in a different paper that I didn't care about, and I wanted this one. So I'm so happy 2025 she put the dated planner in the TRP option. She still has a dated planner in that other thicker paper if you don't want TRP paper, so you can look at that option as well. But I'm a TRP paper girl, so I was super excited about this one. It will be in my lineup for next year, and I don't exactly know how I'm going to use it with my other A5 options that I picked out for 2025. So that will be a next video, just discussing my ideas for moving into having a lot of A5 options for next year. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely check out the Rosey Life. She's got a great YouTube channel. I just love her personality. She's very bubbly and fun and loves pink. So of course, you know, I love that. So that is all for today. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me along, and I will be back with lots more planner goodness for you guys. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.